This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
Next 1000.
My fiance looked like he was going to start crying.
More thoughts and updates regarding the Oathkeeper baby. Technically, baby Cheyenne is not the baby of an Oathkeeper member, as I understand it, but rather the baby of an Oathkeeper civilian participant, if that's the right way to put it. Someone who's not a full-fledged member of Oathkeepers. Anyway, for those of you who've been hiding under a rock for the last few days, there are allegations the government used this man's Oathkeeper participation as one excuse for taking his baby. There is a debate underway, however, as to whether authorities really did submit an affidavit that freaks out over his involvement in this innocuous organization. When I met with Father Jonathan Irish to interview him live, he showed me these documents. He says come from the government and accuse him of Oathkeeper involvement, listing that as a reason why baby Cheyenne should be considered in danger. Page 3, item 7, quote, "The division became aware and confirmed that Mr. Irish associated with a militia known as the Oath Keepers and had purchased several different types of weapons, including a rifle, handgun, and taser," unquote. See the video descript for this clip if you want to view a higher res image of this controversial page, which I saw and photographed. I also looked at the seal on the document and found it to be faint. I don't know what a DCYF or NH state seal is supposed to look like or feel like, but it was fainter than the seal on the other documents like this one. The other documents Jonathan Irish showed me. Another passage worth noting in the document is the one at the bottom where it says, claims the baby is neglected. Quote, "Without the intervention of the court, the infant will be at risk of harm. The child is neglected pursuant to 169-C:3, X1XB, unquote." Maybe I should call that 19B. So, are they saying the baby was neglected on her first day of existence while in the hospital? I don't know. I've called the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, DCYF, to determine if the document is authentic, and it really did come from them, but it's Sunday, so I don't expect to hear back from them today. There's been a hearing scheduled at the State House for October 19th regarding this issue. I'm not positive that hearing is quite the right word for it, but you'll want to see the video descript for details. I left a message with the state's Concord Family Division. Actually, I called them on Friday, and their voicemail indicated that they were closed both Friday all the way through till Tuesday as a result of budget cuts. So I wouldn't expect them to be able to call me back until Tuesday. I really just had one question for them, initially at least, and that is, is that document authentic, the document claiming to be from them? I'd also like to correct some misunderstandings regarding the way I cover stories. A lot of people assume that I travel all over the state on the turn of a dime to photograph every big thing that's going on. The reality is I essentially operate on a zero budget, which means I will not travel out of my way for anything, generally. My motto is do what I can from where I am. There are, however, rare occasions where a viewer or advertiser will commission me to go to a specific location, and that means they cover my travel expenses and pay me an hourly rate. You can find out more at RidleyReport.com/travel. Fortunately, I've been cloning myself for the last 3 years, and now I have students all over the state who make it to most of the big events I miss. Yes, there's still a lot to be said for being there in person, so I'm always eager to receive commissions of this type. If you'd like to do, well, if you're upset about what's going on right now in New Hampshire with this situation, and you'd like to do something about it, there is one more free, quick thing you can do about it that you may not have thought of, and that is to join the Next 1000. This is an advertisement, by the way. If you go to pledgebank.com/next1000, you can pledge your intent to move to New Hampshire by late 2011, if 999 others do the same. Bureaucrats in New Hampshire hate it when their activities result in more liberty activists moving to New Hampshire. The most effective thing you could do to combat the government abuses that happen even in New Hampshire is to move to New Hampshire. Pledgebank.com/next1000